Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a first impressions video. I've got a couple of knives here from QSP, and I may have a little bit of bonus content at the end, so stick around for that. If you just want sort of the quick rundown on these knives, I'll try to cover that in the first 3 or 4 minutes here. So, first off, let me say these were sent to me by QSP for review. And secondly, let me say these used to be, or QSP knives used to be primarily found on Amazon. I did go to find Amazon links for you guys for these two, but they were absent. And so I did a little bit of searching, and sure enough, they have kind of moved away from Amazon, but they are available at White Mountain Knives. So if you have watched more than one video of mine, you probably know that I do have sort of an arrangement with Justin over at White Mountain Knives where I can have my viewers can have a discount code, so 10% off if you use Sharp Stuff over on White Mountain Knives. I'll put a link in the description box down below. And since these are available there, that makes it a quite happy accident. So if you want to buy one of these, you may want to wait till the full review, but even, maybe you'll be so impressed in the next few minutes that you'll just want to run out and buy one. If you follow the link down below to White Mountain Knives and use my discount code, that does help the channel. It sort of says to Justin over there, Kevin's a cool guy. People watch his videos and come and buy stuff from me, so I should send him more stuff. All right. And by the way, these came from QSP, not from White Mountain Knives. That just happens to be the retailer that I'm going to recommend because of that discount code. Okay, so these are probably available elsewhere also. Let's go ahead and get into the specifics of each of these knives. Just to kind of run down the specs, these both weigh about 5 ounces. This one's just under 5 ounces. This one's just over. You can see, I'm not going to go into great detail with this, but what I'll do, how about this? There we have a ruler. I think you guys know how a ruler works. So as I kind of talk about this, I'll just put it near the ruler so you guys can get an idea of size. This guy is, of course, a liner lock with 14C28N blade steel. Kind of a nice standard blade shape. A bit of a drop there, so I guess we can call this a drop point. Saber grind. I haven't done a lot of cutting with this, but it feels pretty thin behind the edge, but it's a pretty hefty blade stock. So, if you're one of those guys who likes a heavier duty knife, this is probably appealing to you. Fairly thick liners carrying over that sort of heavy duty feel. This does have bearings, which, that's fine, but it does limit it just a little in terms of how hard use it is. And you can see there's a hidden, there you go, hidden stop pin in there. So that's how they've done that. G10 here. Overall, I'm quite impressed with this knife. It's comfortable in hand. I like the blade stock quite a bit. The jimping is great, and I love 14C28N steel. All right, so that is the Copperhead. The other knife I've got for you here is the Phoenix. And I want to say it's probably a little bit bigger. Can you see those numbers? Maybe not. It's a bit of a glare there. So you can see that is almost 9 inches overall. So it's a fairly big knife, about 3 3/4 inches of blade there. D2 steel, black on the flats, satin grind. Now I'm pretty sure this is available in the same configuration as this. So you can see this has the stonewash and satin. I'm pretty sure you can get a stonewash here, or vice versa, you can get black here if you like that. All right. Now, I will say this. This one is a flipper. The liner lock is a little tough to access, and it flips well, but it's not the smoothest knife I've seen. So what I want to do here is 2 quick things. First off, I want to show you, I do have one other knife. Man, that stupid ruler really messes up the lighting, doesn't it? I do have one other knife that recently came in. This was sent to me by GearBest, and I will do a review on this coming up, and I'm going to do a comparison between this and the Tangram Progression. So I think that's, they're about the same size, same, they feel like they fit the same vein to me. So this is the Gonzo or the Firebird. I can't even think of the model number, but since I'm talking about some new knives that just came in, I thought I'd throw that in for a second. I'll put the name of that down in the description box. Okay, let's come back to the knife in question. So this guy, what are we gonna do? It's not super smooth. So what we're gonna do is loosen off this pivot, and maybe the pivot is just a little tighter than it needs to be, and that's what's causing us our problem. So we'll try that first. I think, yeah, so this is a T8, and we'll just give that a little spin. Oh, really? Holy cow. Oh. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's try something else. I'll grab another T8 here. Make sure that's T8. And let's do this. Now this is where I normally shut the camera off, so if you want to shut your phone off and go do something else, I totally understand. I'm going to see if I can't get that to open up. There we go. Okay, so got that moving pretty well. Now all I want to actually do here is loosen the pivot. And it does move obviously a little freely. It's going to mess up the centering and stuff like that because I've got this loosened right off. Mostly what I want to do is allow for a little bit of space in there. And I'm just going to take some forced air and try to blow things out a little bit. And then we'll see what happens. Tighten this back down. Actually, it feels a little better already just by having that forced air go through, but I'm going to add a little oil as well. Now, the way I like to do that, the way I've been doing that recently, is I'll take an actual, if I can find it, I'll take a slot screwdriver bit and use that to kind of reach into the knife a little bit and put the oil a little closer to where I want it. And hopefully that's all that's necessary. And often that is all that's necessary. Sometimes you have to do more. Sometimes you have to go as far as taking a knife down. I'm hoping I won't have to do that. I'm hoping I'll just be able to drop a little oil in there. Now, one thing you can do is I've got the oil kind of close to where I want it, and I'm actually going to use that forced air just to push it a little further into the knife. And wow, that is a huge improvement. It's still not going to drop as nicely as maybe I'd hoped. Yeah, it's still pretty stiff there. Maybe we can tune. Which one am I supposed to turn now? One turns, one doesn't. Well, now it's got side-to-side play, so we're just going to adjust that down a little bit more. Okay, so it's feeling pretty good now. So that's something you can do with your knives if you have an issue like I did. And that one was, the action was a little rough, and likely there was just a little bit of dirt in the pivot. It either blew out or the oil at least got it out of the way. I may or may not take this knife fully apart. Depends on how it performs over time. Sometimes just a little bit of oil, a little bit of forced air cleans it right up and you're back up and running and good to go and you don't have to think about it again. Hopefully that's going to be the case with this one. So now I can actually say the action on both of these is quite nice. The detent is a little stiff on both, which is something I like, but maybe everyone won't. But you're certainly not going to shake these out. If you're in Canada, one of the things that's a deal, and probably in some of the US states, if you can shake a knife out through the detent, then if it's a weaker detent, and you can just shake the blade out, that can be considered an illegal knife. Anyway, neither of these is going to have that problem. Overall, I think these are pretty decent budget offerings. I didn't check the prices. I suspect these are probably, $40 to $50, which 14C28N is great steel, D2, great steel. Keep in mind that D2 is not a stainless steel, so you may want to give consideration that way. Overall, I'm quite happy with these. If you want something that's budget friendly, that functions pretty nicely, for, as I say, a decent price, well constructed, sort of heavier duty feeling knives, then I think you'll be pretty pleased with these guys. As I say, I will do a full review after I've been able to spend a little more time. I'll be able to tell you a whole lot more, but my initial impression is, QSP is, they're trying to make a place for themselves in the market, and they're doing a halfway decent job here, so maybe you'll want to give one a try. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.